What's up everyone, I'm Danny the Dinosaur Drawer, and today I'm going to be showing you all how to draw the Sinoceratops versus the Carnotaurus from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And the equipment we're going to be using today is a Graph Gear 500 mechanical pencil, but any pencil will do, an eraser, and obviously some paper. So once you get your materials out, we'll begin the outline. Alright guys, so we're going to have the Carnotaurus on the left side of our paper. So let's go ahead and put in the body. We're just going to see the shoulder and this arm. And then we're going to see a bunch of the neck, but I'm drawing on a small piece of paper today, so I'm trying to fit it all in. It's going to have a lot of neck. Obviously the head, which is going to be the main thing we're going to focus on for the Carnotaurus at least. So we're going to have the eye going to be right about there. And it's facing forward, so this is going to be a challenging angle for the more beginner artists out there. Then here we're going to have the Sinoceratops, which is going to be facing us. We're going to put its eye right about here, or maybe a little bit closer. So right now we're just spacing everything out, making sure we fit it on the paper. I'm going to put this arm, or the leg I guess, on the ground right about here. And where you put the ground is very important because that's going to show how far away the Sinoceratops is from the Carnotaurus. So actually I'll move it back a little bit further away. This is one of the most epic scenes of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. They're about to meet. When I watched it in the theater, it was super cool. The sound was like all around me. Really felt immersed. Okay, so our outline's quite sloppy, I know. And you guys are probably wondering like, wait, why is this guy, why does he have so many subscribers if he's such a bad drawer? But we're not done yet. We got a lot to go. Right now I'm just, as I said, spacing things out, getting the proportions right. And yeah, you can take your time, get that part done, and then we will slowly begin working from left to right to put in more detail. So for the Carnotaurus here, as I said, we're going to have the shoulder. So let's put in the shoulder blade. It's going to have its very stubby arm. This is quite thick. And I believe Carnotaurus has 4 fingers. So we're going to put those in and draw a nice claw for each one. So yeah, the arms of Carnotaurus are pretty much useless. Very close to its body. So put that in. It's going to have a very muscular neck. It's going to be very thick. The meat-eating bull. Carnotaurus is definitely a popular dinosaur. I'm so happy they put it in one of the Jurassic movies. Definitely deserved a spot. Alright, so I'm putting these little horns, or spikes, along the top of the neck there, as you guys can see. Next, we're going to put in the back of the head. So draw like an S shape. Put in the ear, right about here. Then there's going to be some more rows of these spikes. They'd be much larger, I promise, if this was the level 40 Carnotaurus from Jurassic World, the game. But yeah, the movie holds back a little bit on the spikes. And speaking of movies, not sure, but I think they finished filming Jurassic World 3, which is so cool. Can't wait for that to come out. But just the other day I was sitting in my room thinking, and I was like, you know what, there's a lot of scenes from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom that I haven't even drawn yet, so I need to get cracking before the new movie comes out. Because once the new movie comes out, I'm just going to be drawing everything from the new movie. So I'm thinking, let's just get the drawings of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom all finished and add them to the channel. So the bottom of the neck here is going to have a bunch of wrinkles. The bottom jaw is going to start right about here. And as I said, it's a very tough angle, so take your time. I'll be sure to move my hand out of the way every now and then so you guys can pause the video and get a better idea of what I'm doing. Alright, so we're going to have a slightly sloped bottom jaw, or the bottom of the top jaw, I should say. Let's put in that famous horn. That's why I guess the name meat-eating bull. And the other one's going to be maybe right here. And I'll color this in. I might bring out my shading pencils at some point in the tutorial, but not yet. Alright, so the eye is actually in a very good spot. Just want to make sure it's looking forward. So be sure to put the pupil facing forward. Just make the dark spot in the front of the eye. Okay, let's put some wrinkles underneath the eye and above it. It's gonna have a lot of wrinkles around the eye socket. Then we're gonna have a cavity back here. Another cavity here. The nostril at the very tip. And then I'm gonna have a bunch of lines coming up from the edge of the jaw, from the lip I should say. Like so. Looking pretty cool. Then we have some spikes along the top of the head here. Alright, I'm going to put some shading inside the cavities, but we're not going to do too much shading just yet. Put in that muscle that opens and closes the jaw, and of course we should put in the teeth next. So these teeth are going to be evenly spaced and close to the same size. They're not going to be too big, and be sure to put many of them. I'm going to put some teeth in the bottom jaw as well. To have these sort of fade off to show that it's facing forward. I have the tongue sticking out. And this we can definitely shade. Like so. Definitely going to have some wrinkles coming from the bottom jaw. And of course we're going to add lots of bumps and scales and other stuff, but for now, at this point, it's looking pretty good. So I think we'll move on to the Sinoceratops. Alright, so for the Sinoceratops, let's put in the beak. Just going to be pointing forward. I'm going to make some lines to show the grain of the beak. It's going to have its mouth open. Now this is actually going to be kind of tricky because it's going to be a little bit messy. But once we put in more shading, it will clear things up a bit. So we're going to shade this a little darker later on. So I'll put in the bottom jaw. It's going to be nice and thick. And then I'm going to build up the ridge that leads up to the great nose horn. So be sure to put wrinkles leading up to that horn. Put in that massive cone right there. Then I'm going to send this line out a bit just to show the brow ridge. So we're not actually going to see the eye on that side, but we'll see the ridge. And then we're going to see one horn sticking out the side there. Okay, so the eye is actually quite hidden in the reference image I'm using, so I'm just going to put it right here. And so I want to make this dinosaur look kind of angry. So I'm going to give it a squinty eye. Put some wrinkles around there. We have this cavity right there. It's going to have a little horn coming out of the beginning of the crest. So the crest is quite impressive. That's where it's got a bunch of its weapons. And guys, if you have like a messy outline like I do, you can clean it up with your eraser, but a lot of the times I just draw over the outline and just draw a bunch like much darker, so it sort of covers up the messiness. But I will touch this drawing up a little bit more. I generally do that like after I finish the main parts of the tutorial. Oh boy, I have to go off the page, I guess. If you guys have enough room, be sure to include all the spikes in, but my paper is quite small today, so I don't have enough space for all the horns, which get quite long on top. Actually, I think they might get a little bit longer than that. I'm not sure if you guys can see that right on the edge of the camera. Alright, so Sinoceratops has 2 holes that are completely see-through actually in this case. Maybe that's not accurate, but who knows. They're completely hollow. Definitely the skull is, but it could have been, you know, covered with skin or something in real life. But we're not going to get into that because nobody knows. And that's one of the things that really makes me kind of annoyed. Some people start saying things to be one way with dinosaurs when they never have seen a dinosaur before. People come up with these elaborate drawings saying, oh, this is what dinosaurs look like now. It's like the new update. I'm like, it's gonna change like in 20 years. Everything's gonna be different. Anyways, we're gonna have some lines that are gonna spread outwards. Like so. It's gonna have, actually I think we should move this leg back now that I'm thinking about it. So I'll erase that part of the outline. This leg's gonna be moved back. And I'm gonna make it a little bit stockier, a little shorter. So if it was a Triceratops, I don't think the Carnotaurus would have picked on it at all. The Sinoceratops is slightly smaller and doesn't have those huge brow horns, which would easily kill a Carnotaurus. But I want to give this dinosaur some motion, so I have this leg lifted up slightly. I'm going to see one of the back legs. That's not going to be bent though. So let's see, it's going to have to be bent forward. The knee will be right over there. It's going to be slightly, the foot will be bent. So we're going to have that back leg, and then again, I'm running off the paper, which is bad news. And then we're going to have the body, which is going to be in the background. Well, we can see part of it through the crest, which is kind of cool. Okay, lots of wrinkles. Be sure to put lots of wrinkles in. Some veins, maybe. And wrinkles along the legs, of course. But I think this is the end of stage 1. I'll be back with the shading pencil in just a moment. Alright guys, so I'm not using anything super dark. We're going to be using 2B, which is relatively soft graded shading pencils. But you can just press a little bit harder with your regular pencil if you're using that. And if you're using a pen, you can just do a bunch of hatch strokes, and I promise it will look good in the end. Also guys, if you want to show me your art, the best way to do it is to tag me on your Instagram account. And if you don't have Instagram, I used to have a Google Plus community, which was really fun, because people could post and comment and all that stuff. And it was like an official Danny the Dinosaur Drawer community. But ever since then, it's been hard for you guys to share your drawings with me. So I've been getting a lot of emails, which is fine too. But I just get so many of them that it's not like I get hundreds, but I get several a day. So I'm wondering what would be the best way to do it otherwise. I like the emails, guys, so don't stop them, but tagging me on Instagram is the best way to do it. But I guess if you don't have an Instagram yet, go ahead and send me an email. And one of these days I'll do like a feature video featuring all the I guess fan art I could call it. all your guys' art. I'll have to do one of those videos soon because I've got a lot of those drawings already. But yeah, go ahead and tag me on Instagram. I'm going to pull most of the drawings from Instagram and a few from the emails I've received. Alright, so as you guys can see, I'm shading mostly on the bottom half of the Carnotaurus, but we will add a little bit of shading to each of these lines that go down. Like that. I have this big vein. I don't want to shrink wrap the dinosaur, so I'm not gonna make the shoulder blade pop out so much. Let's continue some of these spikes. And I might add some scales later on. But that looks pretty good. I just don't want it to look sloppy, because sometimes my tutorials end up looking a little bit sloppy. Because there are certain things I do when I'm drawing, like doing this time lapse, that I don't do when I'm doing a tutorial. Because otherwise the tutorials would be hours long. Right now I'm just adding some shading to the bottom jaw. I'm doing slightly curved strokes with my pencil to make the jaw look a little bit more 3D, a little bit rounded. Let me switch out pencils. So I'm gonna make this cavity nice and dark. Definitely darken up the horns. Whoops, I think I just colored in one of the spikes, but that's fine. And make it nice and dark around the eye socket. There, now our drawing is beginning to pop a little bit better. I like this pencil, it's nice and soft. Alright, now I can add a little bit of a darker shade to the tongue. And then this area will be covered mostly with scales. But you can of course cover it with texture lines, sort of like what I'm doing right now. I just don't want to leave it blank. And then the Carnotaurus, if you look up close, guys, finding a reference image for this was really hard, so I tried to get the best one I could, but if you look very closely, you'll notice the Carnotaurus has lots of bumps and stuff all over it, and this actually continues along the skin, so that's why it's going to look a lot better once I put in the scales. But I'm going to do that off camera just because it's very time consuming. So be sure to leave a little bit of a white spot in the middle there to make it look like it's kind of shiny. Then we can... You never really color in anything completely solid. Don't shade it, because otherwise it loses its the contrast. Shading is all about finding where the light's coming from, and usually the light's coming from above, so we apply the darker shades to the bottom of objects. Alright, so we got color these in. Sinoceratops is looking kind of plain. But hopefully with this shading, we'll make it look a little bit more realistic. I feel like I'm kind of rusty on these tutorials. I'm not like, haven't done one in a while. Just like the first tutorial of 2021. The first dinosaur drawing on this channel of 2021. I know you guys will be very happy about that. But I've been drawing lots of other things too. This lady has asked me to do like a illustrate her book. It's not like a big book or anything, but it's very time occupying. And it's like a children's book about like a bear. So I've been drawing lots of furry animals, which is much different than drawing scaly animals. It's been fun, but it's not as fun as drawing, you know, like dinosaurs or other things. I'm always drawing what I'm really into at the moment. So if I watch a new movie, I'll go ahead and do drawings of it. Okay, the head of Sinoceratops is looking quite fine, if I do say so myself. I'll just add a few more wrinkles. It's looking kind of mean too. It's ready for a fight. Okay, so the legs are going to be shaded in because they are underneath the body, or at least parts of the legs are. So the outer part of the leg you can leave a lighter shade. But I don't think we ever added in the little claws on the end of the foot. Now they look kind of weird though because they're so dark. I should probably do it with my mechanical pencil. That looks better. So this leg back here can be drawn or shaded in very dark because it's way in the back. That's important to put some ground in. It's actually grass, so you guys can add that in. Make it look kind of cool. I can even add some in the backgrounds as well. Yeah, I'm going to finish this up. Have a little bit of shading on this end of this limb, but you know we don't want to get it too dark because it's on the outside. And the body goes off the page. So we actually don't want to see part of this leg, part of the other back leg. And I'm going to take my eraser and just clean this up a bit. It was getting kind of messy. And then underneath the head, we can do a bunch of shading. And under the body, so. Yeah, this whole area is going to be pretty dark. Not completely colored in, but yeah, darker grade. And then we'll continue some of these lines. Make sure they're circular. Show the roundness of the body. It's going to be the shoulder. So I want to make this limb a little bit wider. Okay, our Sinoceratops is looking pretty good. I sort of like the idea of putting grass in. And then in the background there's a bunch of things going up in flames. There's like a tree. There's a few items that you might want to put in. I'm not going to put them in right now just for simplicity's sake. But yeah, I will see you guys at the end once I have the finished product done. And yeah, I'm just going to add some scales. I probably will do a few more refinement lines, but at this point it actually looks pretty good. So you guys can leave it there, but if you want to keep on doing scales and stuff, you can put on your favorite music and just go to town with that. Scales are super easy. Just do a lot of round circles close together. Make sure some of them are small and some of them are big, but yeah, I will see you guys once I'm finished doing that. Alrighty guys, the only thing left to do for our drawings is to sign them. So I'm going to do that in the corner right here. And we get to put in 2021. So cool. So if you guys have enjoyed the video, be sure to leave it a like, comment below what you think I should draw next, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And be sure to check out my vlog channel, Danny Adventure Vlogs. I'll have a link in the description below. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Voila!